And here we are.
And we're back.
And where are we? We're in the ancestral parklands, once more of the ancestral hovel.
Yes.
It does us good to be out to walk the policies, admire the cows mewing or mowing or mowing or mooing or lowing or whatever it is they do across the ha-ha.
Yes, they love it. And we're here to celebrate
Her Majesty.
many things. one of them being Her Majesty's.
Her Majesty's 60th anniversary of her, 70th? I don't know.
Platinum.
It was 80th, 100th.
150th.
150 glorious years. No,
That's
we're
the
here
one.
to celebrate 70 years of Her Majesty on the throne of Great Britain and the United Kingdom and all the rest of it, and the empire beyond the seas and
Yes.
all that. It is remarkable to think, viewer, that an entire generation has grown up, been educated, entered the labour market, exited the labour market and entered retirement without knowing any other monarch. It is quite extraordinary.
She is the best. She went into whites one time. Do you remember? I was at Davidoff and she came out of whites.
She waved at you.
I did the royal wave and she did it back.
I wonder if she remembers seeing you wave at her.
I do hope she does. I mean, how could she forget?
I know. One of her younger subjects, yet demonstrating that loyalty and fealty and liege man quality that
What
we
did I
love.
call her earlier? Her Royal Highness.
Yes, which hasn't been Her Royal Highness for about 70-odd years, I don't think, really. But there we are. We live for these things. Do you remember the BBC's amazing coverage last time? I think it was Paloma Faith talking about such wonderful constitutional elements as the Jubilee sick bag. And I think will.i.am said, "Happy birthday, Your Majesty," or something. Oh no, "Happy birthday, Your Royal Highness."
So who's the one that did pull up to the bumper baby?
Grace Jones.
Yeah, she said happy birthday, Queenie.
Did
or
she
something-
really?
something like
Was
that.
Grace
Queenie.
Jones in it? Oh,
Wasn't
yes,
she?
of course,
She was.
She performed.
She performed. Yes.
Very.
Pull up to the
I
bumper,
never saw.
baby.
I never saw Her Majesty as a big fan of Grace Jones, but I suppose
think
it's
her
quite a
favourite
towering
song
body
is-
of work.
I think her favourite song is "When I'm Cleaning Windows." That's
got
one
a lot
her-
of them.
Yeah, that's one of her favourites. Anyway, because of this, we're smoking the Punch Royal Selection number 11, which was
Which should have been smoked when she had 11 years on the throne, but we weren't around back then.
predates the swinging 60s. Was only banded in 2005 and then discontinued in 2010. So the band obviously wasn't so popular. And it's a Corona Gorda. It's 46 ring gauge.
And the best thing is, viewer, what's the best thing, Max?
What is the best thing?
Unavailable.
Unavailable.
The thing is, viewer, we have been really...
I'm going to use a spill, one of your
We have been
monogrammed.
lacking in our mission, really, to bring you the latest in unavailable, unaffordable, unmade, unfashionable cigars. For the last 2 episodes on the trot, we have actually brought you cigars that are both available, relatively affordable, and extremely delicious.
Very good, yes.
Now, finally, we return to our original mandate. We are really public service broadcasters at heart, and we don't want to neglect our mission.
This is a fine cigar and a fine spill to light it with. We were talking about we've got the balloons and I've got the party hats, just in
We've
case.
got the balloons, we've got what you call the Zippo.
The renter hat. We've got the Zippo, the Edward Zippo. King Edward
Batista. No, this is Queen Elizabeth II, 1952 or something like that. This was used by Batista. I was assured by the person who sold it to me in Cuba that this was Batista's own lighter. She previously ascribed it to Machado, who'd been chucked out of office by then. So I wasn't entirely sure of the provenance, but she reassured. I said, was it not owned by Christopher Columbus and celebrating the coronation of Isabella or something like that? But no, she assured me. It said on here, E.R., as in Elizabeth.
I think this is what the
1953, the year of the coronation ceremony.
I think this is what they used to light their cahobas with.
The cahobas back
yes,
in the day.
1492, I think. It's the original lighter, the cahoba lighter. But we were talking about other cigars with Royal Vitola de Galeras or Salidas. So we said the Cohiba Majestosos, of course, a royal price tag to match the royal name.
There's the King Edwards.
The King Edwards.
Which are perhaps not exactly regal in their
Can't forget the King Edwards.
taste, but they're affordable and available.
You've got the Paul Aranyaga Regalias de Londres, and we said, what does regalia mean? I'm assuming
to do with regalia and regal, the La Reina.
You've got El Rey del Mundo, La Reina. You've got something Imperiales.
Yes.
You've got, what other things were there?
The Duke.
The Duque.
The Duque. We have Royal Duke, so we have the Duque.
Yeah. There were other ones as well, weren't there? A few other things.
Isn't there?
The Britannicus, Bolivar Royal Corona.
Bolivar Royal Corona for sure. Isn't there an Upman? No, that's Sir Winston.
We're smoking this, aren't we?
Upman Sir Winston.
No, we're smoking the punch.
We're smoking a cigar.
We're smoking a Davidoff.
Are we vaping? Are we vaping?
Shisha.
We are vaping. We should do a shisha one day.
Do you remember the date on your cabinet of 25 of this cigar?
Definitely pre-21st century. I'd say almost 1990s.
Oh, that's very good. And I'm sure you remember the box code, the factory code.
Oh yes, of course I do. Of course I do. I could recite it backwards.
And no doubt it's El Legito, I'm sure.
I think it is exactly what it is. The best of the best.
It's a very good cigar, this, isn't it?
Oh, you can see why I like it.
This is it's a fine cigar alongside the Ninfas, which is another of my favorites, Panatellas Lager or
Punch
Ninfas
really
size.
Was the... it really has created some of the finest cigars in for Foulkes and Sons viewers. The Punch and Ninfas.
Wouldn't you say that's kind of the holy grail of Punch, isn't it? The Ninfas. The 33.
The Ninfas, the least fashionable, least available cigar ever.
It's the one you want.
It is.
And did you know they also come in cabinets of 50 without a
Ninfas?
bag? Yeah.
Where did you see that?
I wasn't aware of that. The Cuban Cigar website.
When did they last make them in cabinets of 50 unbanded?
I don't know. Probably in the kind of 18th century or something.
Yes,
like that.
But the Ninfas. But we're not talking about the Ninfas today. We're talking about the Royal Selection Number 11, which is, I think, a better cigar actually. Not quite as ludicrously shaped.
You stored these very well.
I like to think I know what I'm doing occasionally.
They taste very good. Because you run the risk of sometimes, especially with those, there are a few Ninfas that have had that musky flavour, which isn't always desired, or
that sort of damp cardboard, a bit like corked wine.
I mean, I've had that in an old Romeo, and I've had that in a couple of the Ninfas.
But I think that's the thing of storing cigars in a cellar without. I mean, as you know, I put mine in Ziploc bags, so they've got the coolness.
And you do, under my recommendation and Eddie's recommendation, use Boveda packs now as well.
I know I use Boveda packs because.
God forbid.
Viewer, this is not the kind of discussion we'd envisage having to celebrate Her Majesty's 750 glorious years on the throne.
Maybe Her Majesty uses Boveda packs.
I would like to think that Her Majesty is up to the very latest cigar management and husbandry techniques.
Look at this, the balloons are getting excited.
Red, white and blue. I mean, this is our tribute to the monarch.
I think your wife, my mother, went and purchased these especially for this broadcast.
Especially for the monarch, so that the monarch could feel at home.
Our monarch.
70 years, I mean 70
Upman
years in
monarchs.
Upman monarchs. I knew there was an Upman. I told you, didn't I?
Yeah,
I told you.
And there's another note, but there's the Sir Winston. I think the Monarch and the Sir Winston are both the same cigar.
Yes, they are.
Just from different periods.
Isn't one of them in a tube or something?
One's a medieval cigar, and the other is. Yeah, some that come in the tube as well. I think you get the fancy tube. We love a fancy. Is this the one with the aluminium and the green? It's got the silver and the green, or is that my imagination?
I think that might be your imagination.
But
it wasn't aluminium.
A vivid imagination.
I know. Envisaging cigars that never existed in packaging that has yet to be invented.
The Ache Obman Monarch.
The Ache Obman. The Ache Obman.
Ache Obman.
But how about the Ache Punch?
The Ache Punch. Yeah, that's a fine.
The Punch.
The Punch. The cigar's so nice they named it thrice. Apparently, the Punch is actually called the Punch. And then the Petit Coronations, the Punch Petit Coronation.
Coronation again.
Petit Coronation, there you are.
And Corona, I mean, the Corona itself is a crown-like significance to it. And this is a Corona Gorda, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Vitola of a ring gauge of 46.
46. It's the same as your Siglo 4 that you like.
I like the Siglo 4. As I age, viewer, I find that I'm no longer really physically up to smoking.
Maybe the B hike or the.
Well, yeah, I mean the B hike. I mean the B hike 5.6, BHK 5.6 is, but it always was a little overpowering for me. I felt
it's a bit oversized.
I mean, I feel 52 ring gauge is probably the most I can really deal with.
The BHK 5.2 is my preferred of the three Vitolas, I think. Although I have enjoyed recently it was the Bolivar Belgravia, which was the 2015 regional edition, which is a Montesco, I think.
And that's an extremely nice cigar.
55 ring gauge.
Yes, but God, isn't it good? Isn't it good?
Oh, it's great.
It's not over. It's kind of like they got the band wrong. They made I don't know, a perfect. It's like a really exquisite Upman, isn't it, or something? It's got flavour, balance, but the power is managed. It's sort of delivered perfectly. It's like a beautiful Bentley where they sort of deliver the power gently and evenly throughout. That cigar is fabulous.
And it really didn't taste a great deal like the Bolivars I know or
Thank
have
goodness
experienced.
of iron.
I do. I quite like that alongside the Quabas. The Quabas don't taste all too dissimilar. Look at this balloon. It wants to get closer. It smells the blue smoke, the aroma of the Cuban
It is the blue
puro.
smoke. It is colours like attracting. It's like the resonance phenomenon in when two escapements are placed close together. I think Aristide Janvier discovered this thing in the 18th century. So it's obviously like, and it's F.P. Jean has made use of it in wristwatches. I think it is like the blue smoke attracts to another blue device. There's a sort of magnetism between colours as yet to be discovered by science, and brought to you, viewer, on the Foulkes Sons Science Channel, our twin, our brother broadcaster.
Yes.
Foulkes Sons Science. Science is so easy. All you got to do is learn it.
It's just like Latin.
It is. All you got to do is learn. I mean, 2 weeks, I could be a master of science.
A master of
science.
All the sciences.
All you need is an apple to drop on your head and get a centrifuge.
Every type of science.
Every type of science.
All varieties of
Weird science.
It's the
Science
best.
Fiction.
Yeah, you don't get much better than that.
You really don't get much. The appliance of science.
Oh, that's a good one. The appliance of science. That should be the next episode. And I'm using your Dupont that you kindly passed down to your son, your father's grandson.
Well,
and we're going to. I think what we might do is
look at that ash.
How would you say this cigar tastes? Like tobacco, very fine aged Cuban tobacco.
I would say that this for me is why I started smoking cigars. This kind of cigar. It's smooth, gentle. The flavors are subtle. I think nutty, toasted, but not strong nuts. Maybe a light toasted almond or something like that.
Well, that's the best, isn't it, when you get the almonds? I love the almonds.
Do you get almonds on this?
Yeah. I had something the other day which was salted caramel. That was the Vegas Robena Unicos.
That's an unusual cigar. But anyway, look, we've got to stop now because our artistic director has decreed that we have blathered on enough for the first half of our Jubilee broadcast.
We'll see you soon. What was it?
Long to reign over. Let's start again. Can we start again? And we're back. We're back, still in Jubilee mode.
Really working my way through this cigar.
Are there not cigars called Jubilee or Platinum or something? There must be a Platinum. There's a Xeno Platinum.
There was a Xeno Platinum, very, very strong cigars, yeah. And they had the Stretch, which is like a double Figurado Gran Corona. So it's like
Jesus Christ.
Monty A side tapered at both ends and fatter as well.
What's it, like 70 ringgit at one
not
point?
Not quite, but near enough.
Jesus, I just feel exhausted just even.
You know, it has a disclaimer in the box saying these are very strong cigars. You know, do not smoke.
Do not smoke and operate heavy machinery afterwards.
Yeah, or do not smoke unless aged for 100 years, and then they might become somewhat approachable.
Yes. Oh dear, but these are the essence of approachability and deliciousness, are they not?
It's such a good cigar. I'm having to slow myself down.
This creaminess, you got that sweetness about halfway down, didn't you? Quite intense burst of sweetness.
I think it's just on the whole a very smooth, sweet cigar.
Smooth.
And when people,
but it's not saccharine. Do you know what I mean? Some cigars are blended. There's nothing artificial in that. You find some cigars, especially New World ones, they're blended to achieve certain flavor profiles, almost exaggeratedly so. Do you know what I mean? Because they can do that, and it's almost showing off. But this one,
well, they've got a huge variety of countries to source their tobacco from. I mean, Cuban puros, they're puros for a region. They're pure Cuban tobacco. And although you've got a huge variety to choose from, and a great deal of ratios of filler leaves that you can use, you're still limited solely to tobacco of that origin. With the new ones,
it's not so terrible. I mean, I must say I've struggled by on Cuban cigars for most of my adult life. Do you know what I mean?
It's my you can't replicate
No, you really can't.
The flavor of a Cuban cigar. Sometimes you can kind of.
I mean, Henke can.
Yeah, I mean,
but Henke can do anything. Henke could put a cigar on the moon. Henke
and smoke it.
He could replicate the.
Wasn't there a cigar sent to the moon and brought back?
By Henke himself?
I'm not sure.
Or maybe it was
I
Alberto.
thought there was something there.
No, I think that might have been the North Korean leader went to the moon and dropped him.
No, Eddie was showing me a picture of a man's collection he went to see in Geneva who had a cigar that had been sent to the moon and brought back.
Maybe he went to space.
Space, maybe. Yes, I think maybe not the moon.
Or maybe it
Space.
was smoked while watching a science fiction film or something like that. Or maybe it was smoked while watching the moon.
The faking of the moon landing, maybe.
Yes, but I mean, Henke
could
sort of replicate the taste of cigars as yet unimagined by humanity, couldn't he? I mean, you know, the sort of the Martian cigar fields.
Is it going downhill since he's left?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, they certainly know what they're doing. But Henke is a god. I mean, they should raise a statue to him in Santo Domingo.
I don't think it has really gone downhill. They're still producing great cigars, like that Gran Toro we had recently.
Oh, that was exceptional.
Very good
that
cigar.
was the one in our special outside broadcast, wasn't it?
Yeah, apparently the Winston Churchill 2022 edition was quite good. It's a double.
That's the one we didn't
figurado.
smoke, but we still made use of the negotiating
thought it
table,
was
the
that,
dinner
yeah.
table, the tea table.
I was under the
10
impression
times
that's
table.
what we were smoking, but it wasn't the case. We were smoking something completely different, but also a cigar. And very
But we
good
should
in its
really
own right.
next time we should really smoke cigars that sort of relate to political figures. So, for example, Churchill. Then Churchill used to be the Clemenceau. That used to be the Vittorio de Salida of that one, didn't it?
Which one?
Clemenceau, the Churchill.
I think it was the Giulietta number 2.
Yeah, the Giulietta number 2, but there was also known as the Clemenceau
right,
before it
yes,
was rebranded
yes,
as the
yes.
Churchill.
So it went through three rebrandings, did it? Clemenceau, Giulietta number 2,
I
and
think
then
Clemenceau,
Churchill.
wasn't he?
Or was it Giulietta number 2?
Wasn't he an
Clemenceau?
elected official? Wasn't he like mayor of Paris or mayor of one of the arrondissements of Paris during the the Franco-Prussian War of 1870?
You'd have to ask my brother; he might know.
Okay.
I just know.
As well as being the wartime leader during World War One. Le Tigre.
Yes.
And you wearing tiger's eye, so therefore.
I love the tiger's eye.
The eye of the tiger.
Dun, dun, dun. It's my favorite semi-precious gemstone.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite light rock sing-along car driving ballad.
Yes, that's a great record. Those were the days. Do you remember A Bug's Life?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking up when that was made the other day, 1999 or 1998, I think it was.
And you wanted Freddie to have a Flick the Ant, didn't you?
You gave me a Flick the Ant. I think my brother, when he was born, stood up in his
Went
cot
to the shop
and bought me a Flick the Ant.
Yeah, they were good. They were good, but that doesn't really bring us. That doesn't really. I mean, we have got somewhat off the topic at hand, which is
I just
Her
thought I might
Majesty
remind you of such
in
a
this
great
glorious Antigone picture.
I'm sure she enjoyed it when it was released in 1998.
I think that's one of the great pleasures of royalty is that you're able to enjoy a bug's life whenever you want, really.
The Queen Mum would have loved it.
I think
she did love it.
Do you remember? Did I tell you about the time she was in Mark's Club and Bruno used to always cut the roses from his garden and bring them in and put them on the table when she was coming in?
Mm-mm.
He was so good. He used to look after her Claridge's, and then when at Mark's Club, she used to come. She once came to Mark's Club, and when I was happened to be in there, and everybody obviously got up when she left the room. It was rather charming. And Bruno, the amazing maître there, used to cut roses from his own garden, arrange them in a little vase on her table.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's very nice.
Yeah. These are proper royal things. And do you remember the last Jubilee, they all had to get on the boats in the driving rain?
Yeah, I remember.
I felt so sorry for the Duke of Edinburgh.
And the Queen as well. She didn't
Queen
look best pleased.
No, well, I mean, I wouldn't be best pleased either. I mean, certainly it was a lashing rain. I mean, they couldn't sit down because it was soaking wet, so they stood up and got soaked, and then they couldn't even have a cigar.
We left when they passed, but obviously they remained through the duration of the journey.
With sort of, apparently people were helped off boats and into hospital with hypothermia and things like that. I wonder what the new Jubilee, whether it will bring such highlights as Grace Jones's tribute to a long-serving monarch.
Happy birthday, Queenie.
Happy birthday, Queenie, or happy birthday, Your Majesty, even.
Yeah,
to
Your Royal Highness.
Your Royal Highness, as Will.i.am said it. Or maybe we'll have Paloma Faith, that great constitutional expert, opining on Royal Jubilee vomit bags.
I love Paloma Faith, though. She's very funny.
I like Paloma Faith. She's a fine musical artist.
And I hope she does make her return for this.
Well, she was discovered, I believe, by Finch's Quarterly Review.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Discovered?
I think at one of his dinners Charles had her performing.
Oh, what a world.
Before she was discovered by...
Is it like Alessandro Ristori, that kind of...
Alessandro Ristori. We ought to devote an episode to him when he's next over.
Can we have him perform on the show?
I think that would be brilliant, don't you?
He could dance on this table.
No, I don't think he could, because he's a bit vigorous in his dancing.
I suppose he is.
God, well, on that somber note, viewer, viewer, if you can get hold of these cigars, these Punch Royal Selection number 11s, give them to us, because they are brilliant, and you know, we are in dire need of more cigars, if nothing else.
Always, yes. I keep smoking them. It's very upsetting.
Boy, smoky.
Anyway, so it's goodbye from my grandfather's son.
And it's goodbye from my father's grandson.
And we'll catch you next time.